In this video, we'll discover the extrusion and the face creation. So first of all, I will remove everything and I will add a sphere, let's say, just to show you a little the extrusion. And I will go into orthographic mode to see a little better what I do. I will go in edit mode and I will try to explain you what is the extrusion. So first of all, the extrusion is a kind of duplication of a selection. So if you have a selection here, it will duplicate the selection and create a link between the duplication and the original. So if I make an extrusion of a vertex here, you can see that it will duplicate my vertex and it will create a link between the two like that. Okay, so this is an extrusion. And I will remove the vertex here. If I select an edge, okay, if I select an edge and I make an extrusion with E, so the shortcut for extrusion is E, you can see here, it will create here a face. Okay, so it did duplicate my selection, it was the edge, and it did create a face like that. So when you extrude a vertex, you create an edge. When you extrude an edge, you create a face, and when you extrude a face, you create a volume. As you can see, so it did just select this and create the link between the two, all the faces like that, and it did create a new volume from here. Okay, so with E, you can notice that when you extrude a face, it goes perpendicularly along this axis that is perpendicular of this face. So if you want to see a little what's happening here, you can just enable this and it will show what we call the normals into 3D softwares of the faces. So each faces has a perpendicular axis that is available, so it's just to show you where it is. We will disable this after. And each time you make an extrusion by default, it will go along this axis. So when I make an extrusion like that, you can see that it creates new faces, but it goes along this axis that is perpendicular of the face. Okay, so important to understand that. And so by default I make E like that. Okay, but I can constrain my extrusion on an axis too. If I make a EX, you can notice that it will go along this axis. Okay, and if I make EX like that, okay, it works. But if I select that one and make EY, it will work too. Okay, and same for that one, EZ, it will work. Okay, so it works with one selection, but it works with multiple selection as well. Okay, if I create a selection like this, for example, and make an extrusion, it will make the average of the normals to make the direction, and it will create a new volume starting here. Okay, so E, make an extrusion like that. And if you use the shortcut ES, you will not see the S appear here, but if you make a shortcut ES, you can just go directly to create a little face like that. That will enable to create new details, or even on a multiple selection, it will work ES directly. Okay, so this is an important one too. ES directly is important, but you can go outside of the mesh and you can go inside of the mesh. Okay, and at this point it will create little holes like that, and it's an important and interesting one too. Okay, so E works with faces, with vertices, and with edges, and ES makes scale just after the extrusion, and you can go outside or inside of the mesh. Okay, so we have kind of crazy mesh now. I would like to show you here the extrusion menu that is here. So if you go to the extrusion tool here, you can see that you have kind of plus, and this plus, with just click and drag, it will create a new extrusion, just like that. Okay, so very simple and easy one. If you don't want to use the E shortcut, it can work. But basically, so it's a good tool, it works well. But for me, I will not use it always, because, for example, if I want to select here more, you can see that it creates another extrusion. Okay, so if you want to select, you have to come back to that one and to select again, and come back to that one and make the extrusion. If you stay there and just select, make a E, and it works. Okay, so maybe it's a little quicker to use, depends on what you want. But inside this menu, you can see that there are not only one, but 4 kind of extrude. So extrude region and extrude along normals, we did see that it's more or less the same, because it extrude along normals with E by default. Okay, and extrude individual is an important one. Let's say, for example, let's say we start with another sphere, because we start to have something crazy here. So okay, let's come back with something clean a little, and let's say you have a selection with a big selection like that. Okay, and that you will use the extrude individual feature there. So you will just click and drag, and as you can see, it will create here multiple extrusions, but individually each faces are extruded. Okay, not only the volume. If I come back to the original extrusion, the normal extrusion, let's say, and I make just a B like that, and an extrude, it will extrude, oops, sorry, Control Z, and A to deselect before, it will be better. So it will make a full extrusion of this space here. So different here, it will extrude each individual face. So I come back to that one, and with that one, and now if I scale down this selection, you can see that it's not really what I would like. I would like to scale down these ones individually too. So I can go to my pivot point here and enable individual origins, and like this it will take each face as a pivot center. And now if I use the scale, you can see that I have this kind of effect. So I will have the possibility to make really interesting stuff, like, for example, let's say I will make an extrusion again, a little one, just with click and drag and scale down, and another extrusion, oops, sorry, no, this one, thank you, okay, and another ES, and another extrusion like this. So after, you create really interesting stuff very simply like that. Okay, so you have a lot of possibilities with this. Another kind of let's say application of this tool, what I use usually is to create some grid like that. So let's go with grid, okay, and you would like something with a lot of vertices, so maybe 50 and 50. Okay, and you will select everything like this. Now we will make an extrude individual, just like that, but keep it with the right click on the first place and scale it down like that. Okay, and now I can remove the faces, and I will have this kind of object very quickly. Okay, so interesting one. And after, with just a modifier to smooth it, I will have some circles just like that. Okay, you can see that very easily. So it can be an interesting way of doing things too, just for the extrude individual. Let's come back to our sphere, and so we did see here the extrude individual, and we have an extrude to cursor too. So let's say we would like to have a selection like that, and make it go a little like a snake. something like this. So you will have the possibility now, with this tool activated, just to go like this, very easily. So very easily to make every tubular shapes. And let's say we have a circle here with not a lot of vertices, maybe 12, okay, and we would like to create a kind of tube that goes everywhere. So we go into edges mode here, and we just click and it will just create this tubular shape. I can scale it down a little, let's say, and come back there and scale it up now and continue my extrusions. So I can make a lot of shapes just like that, just with a circle that you will extrude, and with this tool it will work very easily for all the tubular shapes that you want to do. And everything that is circular, like a glass of water or bottles or whatever, will be very quick to do just with the extrude, the normal extrude one. So if I come back to the extrude region, and here I will just come back to another object, another circle here, okay, and I will go in front view. So if you go to make every shape like glass, or let's say glass of wine, because I'm French. So EZ here, and ES, and GZ, and you can see I have already the base, and EZ again, and scale a little, and EZ again, and I go there, EZ and S. And you can see that just with the shortcut with EZ, S, and EZ again, and S, and EZ, you can make the shape that you need very quickly. Okay, so now we have a glass of wine. Good. So for the extrusion, that's it. We have the possibility to create a lot of stuff with extrusion. It's a very powerful feature. And let's say we would like to create some faces, like for example, if we are here, let's take the UV sphere here, and let's say, okay, I will go into edit mode, and I will remove this vertex, and I will remove this vertex here, and I would like to create a kind of handle here between the two, okay? And to do this, I will just select with Alt left click the loop that is here, and now I will go into the right view as much as possible, and I will just extrude, make a rotation, extrude, make a rotation, extrude, make a rotation, extrude, make a rotation, something like that, very quick. It will not be something beautiful for sure, but more or less. Okay, I will go in the end here, and I would like to create the faces. So how I will do that stuff? So the first thing, to create a face, you have to have a multiple selection, more than two vertices. Two vertices will create, if you use the face creation, it will just create an edge, okay? But if you are, let's say, if you have, let's say, 4 vertices, you will create a face. Good. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, F. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. It works with 3 as well, and it will create a triangle. So for this, it's not what we want, but it's just to show you that it's possible to create triangles too, or to create hangons if you select more than 4. Okay, if I have 5 here, it will create a face too, but it's not what we want to here. We want as much as possible quads. As I told you, it's better. So here, just with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will just create the faces. Okay, and now we finish the work, and we made a kind of handle on our sphere, and it will be some of the technique that we will use to create another kind of mug after. So here F will make here the geometry and the faces. Like another example here, let's say we have, let's add here a plane, and let's do some volume with that. So I will just extrude these two vertices here in front view, okay? Extrude it again, extrude it again, extrude it again. Good, so now I have kind of shape like that, and I would like to create and close everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have a face. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have a face. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have a face, and again, as you can see. Okay? So work very easily like this. Good. Perfect. So the extrude, the E key, and the face creation, the F key. Just remember that when you have two vertices, so I just duplicate this vertex here to have two vertices there. If you make a F key with two vertices like that, it will just create an edge, just to create the shortcut like this, okay? If you need at a moment, it can be useful. Like for example, let's say you would like to, you have a Suzanne here, and you have a big hole like this, and you remove this vertex here. So you have a big hole like this, and you would like to recreate that. So first of all, you could select everything and make a F, but it will make a big end gun, and you can see that the geometry is a little strange here. It will not work. So there is a kind of link here that is missing with a vertex in the center. So let's say we will select these two vertices. We will make with F the link between the two first, and then with right click we will just subdivide them like this. We will have a vertex on the center here, and with this vertex we will select it, and with GZ we will put it a little there, okay? And now 1, 2, 3, 4, F, and etc, 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 and you will like this just recreate the faces. Good. So that's it for the face creation. We will see that there are some possibilities to make this automatically. It's just to show you how to make it quick, and but we will see this more into the modeling tools and during the modeling exercises. So in the next video we will have a look on modeling tools, every new tools that are here and that we don't even look at for now. So next video, modeling tools.